Welcome back, y'all. Carlito here, back with another video on your screen. I'm here with Nunanboy Promotions, all the way in Australia, always doing big things, fight hype, all the way. How are you doing, brother? I appreciate your time you give me. And, how's your day?
Yeah, good, bro. All getting pumped up for this weekend. Tszyu versus Terrel Gausha live on Showtime PBC, presented by TGB Promotions and a No Limit Boxing. Man, I'm pumped.
Hell yeah, bro. And I know, like, you were asking me in the past, how my channel doing.
Yeah, how's it all going?
It's going great, bro. It's going great.
Yeah.
Pushing out my shirts, just promoting myself, bro. Big things are coming. You got April 9th here in San Antonio, Texas, Alamo Dome.
Oh,
Ryan Garcia showcasing back and coming off of leaving Team Canelo and going, with Joe, TGB Promotions,
yeah.
It's gonna be big, bro. It's gonna be big. You got
How far are you from the Alamo Dome?
maybe like 20 minutes.
Is that all?
Yeah, maybe like 20 minutes. And I got big things coming. I'm not gonna like come out and say it like straight on the channel yet, but things are in the works, with a co-main event fighter. And
Yeah.
he's been on my channel in the past. And
Nice.
it's gonna be great, bro. My first in-person interview, and it's gonna be good. Everything falls into place, everything comes right. Look out for that, bro, for real. And what I was gonna say. What are the rumors? What are you feeling about Kambosos and fighting David Haney? I just saw on his Instagram a couple hours ago saying TikTok, TikTok, David Haney, TikTok. What is that about, bro? What's going on?
What's that about is Lomachenko, the fight with Lomachenko was sealed and delivered, right? So he was fighting Lomachenko.
A big shout out to, Ukraine, Lomachenko,
Yeah.
always fighting. Big champs are fighting, bro, for their country, bro. I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that fight was signed and delivered, and cut a long story short, once he decided that he didn't want to take the fight, which is well respected throughout the world about how that's going to go down, and it's not really good at the moment there in the Ukraine. So I can see where he was coming from. It doesn't look good leaving your country for $2 million to come down to Australia and fight George Kambosos. So the same deal is for Haney. Kambosos is the A side. It's funny to say this, but Haney and Lomachenko are the B side, and he's got the same deal. He's got the same offer. He's got 3 or 4 days to accept it. That's getting close now because it's obviously you guys are just turning into Friday morning now, so there should be something coming out in the next 36 hours. Whether Haney is actually going to be locked in, whether Haney's going to be locked in. So TikTok, the clock's ticking. And Kambosos is putting a lot of pressure on Haney and those guys to hurry up and make their decision, or Kambosos will look somewhere else to fight a different opponent. He'll still fight in Melbourne, Australia, but he'll probably fight a different opponent.
What's your take? What do you think is going to happen?
I think he'll fight Haney. I think Haney will come down here. I think Haney will take the offer. I think Haney will have to fight. This won't be on Matchroom Boxing. This will be DeBella Entertainment of Ferocious Promotions. I kind of think that it might even be shown back on ESPN in America. I think out here it'll be shown on Fox Sports Main Event, which is great. In the UK, it might go to a different network in the UK and Europe. I'm not really too fussed about that, but I think the Devin Haney fight will happen on June the 5th here in Australia, June the 4th down there in America.
For sure. And then, fast forward to probably December, November timeframe. I hear WBO is forcing Gervonta Tank Davis after the Rolly fight, Rolly Romero, May 28th, I want to say it is forcing him to fight Kambosos, the rumor here in the States. I don't know if it's like that over there, But what's your take on that? Do you see Tank fighting, you know, George in Australia?
No, I don't. I don't see Tank. Well, a lot of news today about Tank and Mayweather Promotions, which I think is a little bit hyped up. To be honest, I don't think there's a lot of fact to that, but I think that's just him putting his feelers out with Mayweather Promotions that his contract is up on May the 28th when he fights Roland Romero. But yeah, look, the winner out of Tank and Roland Romero, which I think will be Tank. Tank's that fight is at 140 pounds, isn't it? Is that fight at 140? It is at 140 pounds.
Yep.
So Kambosos is going to fight 7 days later. Look, there's a lot of moving parts that can happen before then. You know what I mean? You're talking about the WBO at 135, aren't you? With George and particularly and Gervonta Davis. So George is not going to step up to 140 pounds. He's a 135 fighter. But look, that's a fight that can happen down the track. George just said recently on Fight Night on our channel that, you know, he'd go over to America and kick his ass over there. You know what I mean? George is very comfortable with the fight. He's not worried about Gervonta Davis, but he probably they wouldn't do that down in Australia. I think that would have to be with the money too that fight would generate. I think that's a USA fight for sure.
But wouldn't that be, you know, what you said in the past, not relevant for, you know, Kambosos fighting back in the States for another 2 years or so? You know, because y'all be in the A side, why would y'all come all the way back to the United States?
I think if Kambosos, so many moving parts. If Kambosos fights Haney here in Australia and beats Haney, then I think he'll do another fight here in Australia late in the year, and I think he's built his brand even more and capitalized on the go to market and the brand money that he's going to make. But I think George knows that for him to get Gervonta Davis, which I think is the biggest fight for George, that's a massive, big magnitude mega fight. I think George knows. George even said that the other day. That'll happen in America probably next year if that happens. You know, I mean, God's, you know, willing that, you know, he gets through Haney and that happens. But I think Kambosos versus Tank Davis, or if it's Davis versus Kambosos, that will be in America. I've always thought that the last 6 months, excuse me, that's where that will happen. And I think George understands that though. But you never know. Time, you know, we could be sitting here doing a video in September when George is getting ready to fight. Could be getting ready to fight Ryan Garcia in the latter part of this year. We don't know.
Oh, for real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real.
Ryan does. You know, with Joe Grusin, you know, as in his corner now, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be real crazy. You know, this whole year is gonna be crazy. A lot of things are coming up, and what's your take on this year? How do you see it going?
I think this year, Charlo's going to beat Castano and become undisputed at 154. I think Tyson Fury is going to knock out Dylan White. I think there's a big chance that we're going to see Deontay Wilder back in the ring this year, which is massive news for boxing. I think Canelo Alvarez will knock out Dimitri Bivol, and it will be an absolute cracking fight in September. I'd love to be there for Canelo versus Triple G3, which I think will be in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena.
That would be amazing.
That's my take on this year, the biggest fights, you know what I mean? And Kambosos, biggest for all of us down here is Kambosos fighting Devin Haney. I think he'll step through Devin Haney. And I can see, you know, as a prize fight that he might fight Ryan Garcia here in Australia in the latter part of the year. I think it's great.
That'd be crazy. And you know, always showing love to David Haney, but I guarantee you Kambosos will sleep him.
You reckon?
In Australia, we'll sleep him. And
wow,
it'll be crazy because everyone here that talks about boxing, talks about David Haney, talks about him being the next Money Mayweather, you know, TBE. But dude, I go for him so much, bro, but you know, it's a toss-up, man. It's a toss-up, but I know Kambosos is on a whole nother level than David Haney right now.
all the way. Are we going out tonight? All the way. I'ma chug the bottle, chug it all the way. Made it this far.